Horse to Water.
Horse to Water, digging out song ideas, found this and thought, oh yeah, I was going to develop this. Listened to the Allman Brothers, Midnight Rider, and those 3-part harmonies on that verse really inspired me. I said before it was going to be a bit more of a somber, sadder affair. I think it was in A minor, and I heard the Allman Brothers put it in A major, put them 3-part harmony together, and the song just took off. I remember bass-wise, because we had the song before you joined us permanently, I think, and there was actually an old bass player. We got recordings of someone else playing bass on it, and it can be hard as a bass player, I imagine, or as any musician coming in. You want to make something your own, and I think you did a brilliant job of that. I think the one thing I said to you is just keep those bars on the intro the same, because that's my little nod to the Allman Brothers. It's got that do 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 do, that sort of vibe. I just wanted that, but other than that, I said, free reign, and I love what you come up with.
That was obviously the very first song of the new album that we actually worked on with me. We'd done, to be honest, it was a trial by fire. We did one rehearsal, Rock City, 2 rehearsals, and then straight into 3 weeks in Europe. So we'd done that tour. We'd come back. We'd done the UK tour. Obviously, I wasn't on a permanent basis at this point, but it was kind of testing the waters of can he write as well.
Yeah, it's a big part of being in a band with someone.
And like you'd said, your bass player had already you'd had it all written, and it was trying to find how I could put my stamp on a song that had already been written, but also not tread on the toes of someone who's written it beforehand. Because you'd had that Allman Brothers inspiration, I think you'd sent me a recording of you in the room. And what made me nervous was you'd loved the song that much that you wooed at the end of the
I was giggling.
At the end of the recording. I was like, oh my god,
I was giggling like a schoolgirl throughout that recording.
I was like, God, my work's cut out from here. And it was one of the things, I think I'd changed the riff slightly because we hadn't had the conversation about I want to keep that same. So I think we'd come into the space and I'd done whatever was the first iteration. Like, no, just step back, go back to what, the original and then kind of the rest of it was free reign.
Yeah.
So I kept similar to what the old bass player had done, but I also kind of took my own inspiration for a lot of the fills and middle sections. And there's a repeating fill, like the that's a jazz fill. All this jazz. It's Jaco Pastorius, really great jazz bass player, kind of has one recurring line throughout most of his tracks, and I was like, I want to kind of change that ever so slightly to be myself, so it slowed down a few notes that cut out, but all that inspiration, it's jazz. A lot of the stuff I wrote in Horse is jazz and funk, and obviously there's the solo section between me and Aaron.
Yeah,
I could tell you every inspiration behind each of the solo bits in that as well.
That was
these are all
that bit's interesting. I want to ask you about that because having a bass solo trade-off, the volume issues, I remember having a bit of problem with that. Did you have to get any new pedals or anything, especially when playing it live, to boost that for the solo bit?
So I think we tried a few different solutions that didn't quite work out, but then I ended up getting, it's another preamp really, but I just set it to clean and then stuck it up well around it. So I just stick it on and it goes through the roof now. The very first one, that's kind of like the ascending on G, that's kind of taken from Wolfpack a bit. Ooh, I like that ascending section. Yeah. So I want to do something ascending in the first part, then Aaron kind of leads down into his bit. Just kind of finding the conversation between bass and guitar, but also keeping it interesting. Every single bit is either funk or jazz or kind of pop.
I love that.
None of it's rock music whatsoever. It's all taken from something outside the genre.
I love there's so many different influences on there of music, and it's all upbeat music, and it's such a somber topic to write about, about addiction and about how someone can't be helped until they're ready to be helped. I know I've certainly had issues and known many people who've not made it to the other side of these problems. So I think it's a song people will relate to from the vocals, but also the music, because there's so much going on in there musically as well. Chorus I'd had for a while, but the actual verses, that's only fairly recent. The verses are just, I'm going to run, hide, I'm going to cheat and lie. So it's all about, someone who doesn't want to face up to the reality and isn't ready to receive that help yet. So it's a powerful, strong message, and it may even help someone who is suffering at the minute. So fingers crossed.
Good message.
Back to the studio.